the beginning of the season, he told Celtics fans he wanted to remain in Boston. Last week, he was asked again about it. He left the door wide open. He was non-committal in a strongly worded interview. Today, Celtics president and GM Danny Ainge sounded very optimistic about Kyrie returning. Listen.
The way I view the situation is that I think a lot of people, because of Kyrie's announcement at the beginning of the year, thought that there was a marriage. And I think that it's more like an engagement, and we're going to get married on July 1st. And I think that engagement is still on. As far as I know, in my individual conversations with Kyrie, we're still engaged, but we really can't, make those vows, sign that contract until July 1st.
This is true. Our insider, Adrian Wojnarowski, joins me now. So Ainge sounds as optimistic as he can be. Trade deadline, it's gone. Congratulations. Right. So what happens? Do the conversations between the two continue between now and July 1st?
Well, first of all, if Danny Ainge says anything differently in public now, it starts that story all the way down the road again. And by wording it the way he did, he at least quells it again. He didn't open it up to any more uncertainty. And Danny Ainge knows this, that in the end, it's not going to be the recruiting of Kyrie Irving through the year. He's already there. He knows what they are and what he has. And all Danny Ainge and ownership think they can do is make the team, the organization, as presentable as possible, from winning this season to the roster that he would have going forward when he's got to make his decision in July. And if there's something else he wants out there, well, then he'll go take it. And there's nothing they can do about it.
The one thing they can do is offer him more money than anybody else, $49 million more than anybody else, because they can offer that 5th year. So if that's his goal, then he should stay right there in Boston. We'll see. Okay, you broke the news last night that the Pelicans are no longer considering holding Anthony Davis out the rest of the season. He will be playing. Good news to his teammates, of course. Listen.
We all enjoy Anthony. We all love having him and playing with him. Just being able to kind of get his, I guess, what is this, like the tour that like Paul Pierce and Kobe had. Like, this is kind of like an AD tour. Nah, but I think for Anthony, man, like I said, this is his passion. This is what he wants to do. So he's still gonna come out here and play as hard as he can and give all he has. And I feel like he's shown that ever since he's played.
It was a tough couple of weeks for his teammates. So I'm glad they've kept their sense of humor, Woj. But what changed?
Well, the Pelicans talked to the league office, and the league office reminded them of a few things about the idea of holding Anthony Davis out and trying to not play him for the rest of the year to preserve him from getting injured. The league said, listen, there are already rules on the books. There's a resting rule in the league that if you're a healthy player, a healthy star, and you're playing a national TV game, or you can't just sit guys out. And they told them this too. Listen, if you try to hold him out, and this is seen as retribution for him asking for a trade, the league has already fined him $50,000. You can't punish him again. He will file a grievance with the Players Association, with the league, and he will win. Yeah. There's no way for you to sit him. And the team also came to I think, the final sense that, listen, they have season ticket holders, and they have fans who have paid with the idea that they're going to see him play. And listen, while they might like to get a higher draft pick, this is not an organization that has tanked. They're owned by the same group that has the Saints. That's not a football mentality either. Yeah, so I guess it's just back to business as usual, right? By the way, they took him out of their montage, their game intro montage. Tonight would be his first game back since injuring the finger. Is he going back in the video? Business back as usual, right? Yeah, and the other thing, too, he's going to play fewer minutes, and you'll probably see him a lot less on back-to-backs. Okay. Woj with the latest. Thank you. Thanks, Sage.
Still on Rondo, the first career go-ahead field goal in the final 10 seconds of the fourth quarter overtime. He previously was 0 for 11 in his career. It's his first buzzer beater, wouldn't you know, he does it in Boston. As soon as LeBron speaks to the press, we'll bring it to you live here on SportsCenter. For James, it's been a busy day. Earlier, he and Giannis chose up sides for the All-Star game.
With the first pick, I am going with Kevin Durant.
The first pick, Team Giannis, I'm going to go with Steph Curry.
So the Golden State boys are off the board. I'm going to go with Kyrie Irving.
That's a great pick right there.
Giannis, I don't know if there's a bad pick out there.
I'm going to go with James Harden, Kawhi Leonard, Klay Thompson, Anthony Davis. Tampering rules does not apply on All-Star Weekend.
third pick, I'm going to go with LeBron's guy, Ben Simmons.
I'm proposing Russell Westbrook for Ben Simmons trade.
I'll do it.
Giannis to trade everybody on his bench for Anthony Davis.
You know, All-Star Weekend is always a treat, so looking forward to it.
So the All-Star picking via Skype or something. LeBron had the first pick, as you heard. He chose Kevin Durant, who was salty in his last press conference. Steph Curry goes right away to the other side. Kyrie Irving gets his old teammate. Joel Embiid goes to Giannis. LeBron's final two starters, Kawhi Leonard, James Harden. Giannis took Paul George and Kemba Walker. And then for LeBron's first reserve, he goes to the guy who didn't go to the Lakers, Anthony Davis. Giannis asked if that constitutes tampering. Then LeBron made that Westbrook for Simmons trade after the trade deadline.
Russell Westbrook, he's wearing his usual uniform. The OKC Thunder, he would wear out the rim tonight. Second quarter, Westbrook had some trouble. Gets the steal. The wide open slam. Not exactly. And look at Westbrook. Like, he wants to blame the rim. Right? He's checking the rim. What's wrong with the rim? Couldn't possibly be me. Yeah, no, the rim looks straight. All right. Third quarter, Westbrook got revenge on the rim. The steal. And this time, he's going to drop in the dunk so he doesn't miss and celebrates. That rim is cool. Well, that checked out. Watch it again. This is more of a gentle two-handed finish. I'll just leave this right here, if you will. The round 2 victory against the rim. In the third, Thunder up 70-59 on their way. Jeremy Grant in the paint. No. Westbrook, he does everything. Gets the board, lays it up and in. In the fourth, Westbrook off the screen. Alley-oop and a Terrence Ferguson. Watch it again. Ferguson, the insane slam. Westbrook, 15 points, 13 rebounds, 15 assists. 8th straight triple-double. Career best and longest streak in the NBA since, well, 1968. And that is what is impressive, what he brings to the party every single night. Harden might get his 30, but it's Westbrook with the triple-double.
With the first pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the 76ers select Markelle Fultz.
It was unbelievable, really. Something I've been dreaming about.
Well, he didn't last long there. Been traded to Orlando. Markelle Fultz has played just 33 career games. Now, according to Elias, among players to debut with the team that drafted them, that's the fewest by a top overall pick before changing teams in the common draft era that dates back to 1966. So he's had a rough tenure in Philadelphia. His Sixers career started well enough. In the Summer League, averaged 16 points a game, shot 37.5% in 3 Summer League games. And then a sprained ankle. He missed the rest of Summer League for Philadelphia. So the next time he was seen, he looked a lot different. Free throw and shooting forms looked a lot different than he had in practice and in the Summer League. His agent told ESPN at the time he had drained some fluid from his shoulder. Then he changed that statement, said he had a cortisone shot. He played just 4 games before being shut down for the season. So after missing 68, he returned March 26 against the Nuggets, gets the standing ovation, hit a couple jumpers late in the game, mid-range. Fultz had 10 points, 5 of 13 shooting in that game. But now later in the season, moving to April 11 against the Bucks, Fultz gets a triple-double in the last game of the season. Teammates mobbed him after his 10th rebound. Things were looking a lot better for Fultz at that point, but the struggles continued, especially at the foul line. He had that hitch. Clearly something was wrong. He just lost all confidence, also had the actual physical injury diagnosed with a syndrome, thoracic syndrome, and was traded to the Magic on Wednesday. So Woj is on board with us now to make sense of this. They didn't give him long there, but it had lots of troubles. How does Orlando look at this deal? What are they getting?
Well, for Orlando, they see this as low risk, high reward. They really didn't give up a lot for him. And listen, he's still 20 years old. And this was a player who was drafted #1 overall for a reason. He is immensely skilled. And, you know, people who watched him, scouted him in college, there were plenty of people who thought he was the #1 pick. But there are issues that have to be worked out. He has tried to address them in the past year. And he's no longer to the Magic the #1 overall pick, the guy they traded another draft pick to get. He's a reclamation project, and that's how they're going to approach this with the Magic.
That's a good guy to experiment with, a former top pick, a guy who mentally and physically can get through that. All right, Anthony Davis did not go to the Lakers. I think the Pelicans changed it where they had a recording, you have reached the wrong number or something. It just didn't work out. And now they announced that he will play, though, because there was a lot of talk about that. Will they just shut him down?
Yeah, they had thought about, listen, he is the most important asset in that organization, and they're going to trade him at some point. And when they do, what they get back for him is going to really, form the future of what that organization is going to look like. They've got to get back a maximum haul of assets, picks, all the things you want for a star player. And to do that, they got to make sure he's healthy. And the concern about him potentially getting injured in these last couple months of the season, force them to sit around and think and decide, should we just shut him down? The league absolutely did not want to see that to happen, not a player of Davis's stature. I know today Mickey Loomis, the president of the organization, Dell Demser, GM, Alvin Gentry sat down, talked, and decided that he's going to play, and these will probably be his last couple months in a Pelicans uniform.
All right, Woj, check your Twitter. LeBron reached out to you about that Westbrook-Simmons trade.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
Trade deadline has passed. One move can alter the landscape of the entire league. And take last year, for example, when 6 of LeBron's teammates were traded on the day of the deadline. That team, of course, went on to the finals. And only once before were that many players traded from a single team on deadline day. Oh, by the way, also LeBron 2008 Cavaliers. Now, fast forward to this year, and it looked like the Lakers might be headed down the same road, but just 2 teammates were traded on deadline day, none among the team's young core. But what now for those who stayed on the team that for weeks appeared not to want them? Here's Dave McMenamin.
Just days before the NBA trade deadline, the indelible image from the seemingly left-for-dead Los Angeles Lakers was LeBron James completely isolated from his teammates on the bench during a blowout loss in Indiana. Thursday, with the trade deadline finished and the Lakers roster looking much the same, there was a far more effervescent scene.
Believe it or not, I always dream like this, you know what I mean? But I couldn't picture it being this sweet. Team struggling right now, and I think it's definitely a confidence boost, of course.
Rondo, one of a litany of Lakers who heard his name attached to Anthony Davis reports in recent weeks, hit the first buzzer-beating game winner of his 13-year career. And the Lakers looked like a team that found its fight again.
We need a response, energy that we didn't need, trades and everything. I think just played a little bit into our heads and as a collective group, and for us to bounce back like this after the trade deadline, we know this is who we have. This is our group, and it was a big step for our team.
I won't say need, but it helps. Winning helps a lot.
With Davis still in New Orleans and LA pulling off a couple minor moves to acquire some shooting and Reggie Bullock and Mike Muscala, both expected to join the team this weekend, the Lakers, wouldn't you know it, set a franchise record for threes.
It felt like a sign of relief, especially all year. We haven't been shooting the ball as well as we can as a team and individually. So to come out like that, fresh air.
Breathe in, breathe out, Lakers fans. The season is still alive. It might not feature LeBron and AD playing alongside one another as Magic Johnson and company hoped for, but the players still donning the purple and gold don't plan to go quietly into the night.
I think if I'm healthy and we're a collective group, and I think we can make a push, and that's all it's about. And and if I continue to get in the form, and we continue to get in the form as well as a collective group, then we will hit the stride.
Dave McMenamin, thank you. Lakers back at it this Sunday for a trip to Philly. A game BPI, Basketball Power Index, says they have just a 31% chance of winning. Then they'll face the Hawks in their last game before the All-Star break. Soon after, James Harden and Anthony Davis await. Tip off your weekend, NBA Friday doubleheader. Nikola Jokic and the Nuggets take on Embiid, Tobias, and the new-look Sixers, 7 p.m. Eastern, and Karl-Anthony Towns leads the Timberwolves against the Pelicans. All of these teams have been in the news lately, both games on ESPN. Take it with you on the ESPN app.
Let's head to the set of Get Up, where we find our good friend Jalen Rose. Good morning, Jalen. The Sixers host the Nuggets tonight. Tobias Harris making his Philly debut. How do you see Harris fitting in with the Sixers squad?
I see him fitting in amazing, Jay. I feel like the Sixers now have the second most accomplished starting lineup in the entire NBA. Joel Embiid has been playing amazing all year at an all-NBA level. Ben Simmons is a triple-double threat. He's going to be an all-star. Jimmy Butler showed his worth, in particular when he first arrived, making game-winning shots. Now the world gets a chance to witness how good of a player and of efficient player Tobias Harris really is. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people with his productivity and his ability to get shots not only off the catch, but to shoot effectively from three off the dribble. And Philadelphia also now has a lot of tall players that will be interchangeable on both ends of the floor. It's a terrific pickup. Elton Brand has done an amazing job as the general manager. And don't overlook picking up Jonathan Simmons as well, who has a pedigree of playing with the Spurs. I really like what the Sixers have done. They're my favorite now in the East.
Jalen Rose, appreciate you. Go get ready for the show.
Thanks for the love.
And coming up next on Get Up, they're going to have the latest NBA trade deadline fallout. Plus, Jalen breaking down which